All right, class, we are looking at solving multi-step equations today. This is section 2.4 in your textbook. This is a continuation on the solving that we were doing last class period. It is not significantly more difficult, but there will just be oftentimes an extra step or two in the process for doing this. So last lesson we were doing two-step equations. Two-step equations were something like 3x minus 4 equals 2. We said there were two steps because your first thing you were solving for x, and the first thing that you would do, recall, is that you would add 4 to both sides. Those would cancel, and over here we'd have 6 because negative 4 plus 4 is 0, so that cancels, and 2 plus 4 is 6. So we have 3x equals 6, and then you look at x, what's happening to x is being multiplied by 3, and the way to undo a multiply by 3 is to divide by 3. And if you do it to this side, you have to do it to this side. Those cancel to just x, and 6 over 3 is 2. We call this a two-step equation because there are two things that we did. First, we added 4, and then we divided by 3. Those were the two steps. In 2.4, there's just potentially more steps, most often one extra step, but there will be, from time to time, multiple steps that we would add. My advice to you guys is to attempt to combine like terms right away. So, for example, what I mean by like terms is these two things are like terms. They both have an x with them. Therefore, you can combine them. Similarly, if you had two things that didn't have any variables with them, those would be considered like. So if you had like 5 plus 3 minus 2x. So now the 5 and the 3 are like because they both don't have an x, then you could just take 5 plus 3. So this problem, like I said, attempt to combine like terms right away and then simplify from there. We can actually just do 8x minus 3x. If you had 8 x's and you got rid of 3 of them, you would have 5 x's. 5x minus 10 equals 20. So that was our first step. And this actually converted it into a two-step equation, the type that we had last class period. We need to solve for x. We look at what's happening on x's side. There's a minus 10 and a multiply by 5. We need to undo both of those things. We know that we undo things in SADMAP order, in reverse PEMDAS. So we first add 10 to both sides, and you get 5x. Those cancel, equals 30. Now divide both sides by 5, you get x is equal to 6. So this was 3 steps. We first combined some like terms, and it was a two-step equation where you undo the subtraction or addition first, and then undo the multiplication or division. Go ahead and pause it here and try this one. This is the exact same level of difficulty. Hopefully, you guys paused it and now are trying it. Your first step would have been to combine these two things. If you had 9 of something and you took 2 of them away, you would have 7 of that thing. So 70 plus 4 is equal to 32. Now it's a two-step equation. Subtract 4 on both sides, so you have 70 is equal to 28. So D is equal to 4. We do have some problems that are going to look different than just the combine and then two-step variety that we just saw. This one's got some parentheses. Hopefully you guys will remember the distributive property. So we have a negative 2 in front of some parentheses. We can take this negative 2 and distribute it in using multiplication. So this would then look like 6x, negative 2 times x is just negative 2x, and negative 2 times a negative 5 would be positive 10 is equal to 46. I just want to highlight, remember, we multiplied it by negative 2, not just the 2. If you did just 2 and distributed that, you'd get the wrong answer. So if you have to take the sign in front of it, which in this case is negative 2, and distribute that. And now this is the same level of difficulty as the last problem. First thing is to combine those things. We would have 4x plus 10 is equal to 46 then. Now we undo the subtraction or addition first. There is a plus 10 happening. We undo a plus 10 by subtracting 10. And if we do it to one side, we have to do it to both sides. So we have 4x is equal to 36. Now x is being multiplied by 4. The way to undo multiply by 4 is to divide by 4. We get x is equal to 9. Same idea, pause it here, try it, compare with my answer. Let's see if you get it right. First step is to distribute those things. So you have 5x minus 4x plus 12. Remember, we're distributing a negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 3 is plus 12. Now we have a 5x minus 4x. These things are like, so we could combine those to 1x or just x plus 12 is equal to 17. And subtract 12 on both sides, we get x is equal to 5. Next level of difficulty, you are going to see a fraction in front of parentheses. And there's actually two ways that you guys can do this. I know that probably what you're thinking you should do right now is to distribute the 3 halves in. Distributing the 3 halves in gives you 9 halves x plus 15 halves is equal to negative 24. You can get the right answer here with your calculator. Your first step would be to subtract 15 halves to both sides, and then you would multiply by the reciprocal, which is 2/9. However, there is another thing that you can do to solve these questions. I'm going to encourage you guys to do that. Right now, 3 halves is being multiplied by all of this in parentheses. I can actually undo a multiply by 3 halves by, as mentioned over here, multiply by the reciprocal. And if I multiply by 2/3 on this side, I also have to multiply by 2/3 on this side. Remember, multiplying a fraction by its reciprocal cancels it. So on this side, we just have 3x plus 5 then. And then I have to do negative 24 times 2/3. And negative 24 times 2/3 is negative 16. Now I just have a two-step equation, right? I didn't have to deal with any of these fractions because I got rid of the fraction by multiplying by the reciprocal. So now I can subtract 5 to both sides and get 3x is equal to negative 21. So x is equal to negative 7. Same idea, you guys try this one. Pause it here. Remember, 3/4 is being multiplied by the parentheses. How I undo a multiply by 3/4 is multiply by its reciprocal. If you do that to one side, you have to do it to the other. 12 times 4/3, 16. And those multiplying by a fraction by its reciprocal cancels. So I get z minus 6 equals 16. So z equals 22. Last problem is a little bit of a word problem, kind of fun, hopefully. I drew my camper up here, and I said its perimeter is 63 feet. Help me find the length. And what I mean by length is the distance from here to there. So this ends up using a lot of the same ideas that we were just looking at. We have to add up all of the sides, and we know that it's going to equal 63. So let's look at, we have one length, that's 28 minus 2x. Actually, we got two of those, right? So I can put a 2 out in front of parentheses like this, or I could have said 28 minus 2x and then added another 28 minus 2x. We also have two of these, which says 2.5, 2.5 plus x, right? We got one of those here and one of them would have been there. Then we also have a 3x minus 1. So we're going to add up all of these things, and it should equal 63. So let's go ahead and start simplifying this. What I have to do in this problem is distribute the 2. Distribute that 2 to get rid of the parentheses. 56 minus 4x plus 5 plus 2x plus 3x minus 1 equals 63. So we're going to go ahead and combine the like terms. All of the things that do not have any variable with them are like. We have a 56 and a 5, positive 56, positive 5, that makes 61. 61 minus 1 is 60. We also are going to combine the things with x's. We have a negative 4x and a positive 2x and a positive 3x. Negative 4x plus 2x would be negative 2x, plus 3x would be positive x. Subtract 60 over, we get x is equal to 3. So let's go ahead and make sure that that answers my question. The question was, what is the length? Well, if this is the length, as I kind of mentioned earlier, what is that length? Well, it's not 3. You'd have to plug 3 in and figure out what it is. So 28 minus 2 times 3 would actually be 22 feet. And I know that what is the length isn't super clear. Like, is it this distance or this distance? But I'm telling you right now, it's this. That's what I'm interested in finding out. And we found out it's 22. So that would be the answer. That's all I have for section 2.4. Your guys' homework for the day is 3 through 13. And then number 33. 33 is, actually this still applies. 33 is the perimeter problem. Keep in mind, perimeter is the sum of the lengths of the sides. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and that's all I have for you today.